Good morning, students. So we were discussing p block elements, and then we had seen general trends and the variation of properties of elements of group 15, group 16, certain preparations, and a few properties. Because most of the elements properties are common. Like in case of oxygen, you will find they oxidize. In case of nitrogen and phosphorus with nonmetals, they form hydrides, oxides. These are all common reactions. So which can be practiced by certain questions, like what happens one type of question, or by making charts. So those activities I will be telling you. So today we will be starting group 17, and group 17 is called as halogens because group 17 elements, they form salts. So halo means salts and gen means to form. So salt forming elements. These are salt forming elements. Group 16 elements name which is given is chalcogens. This means they form oxidized salts, the salts which are oxidized, whereas halogens, they form halides. So we will see a few halogen at first. After that we will see few compounds of the halogen, and preparation of chlorine has to be studied. So group 15 we have done, group 16 we have done, and now we will be doing group 17, and group 17 is called as halogen. Means salt forming elements. You will find that in these elements, like say if you say chlorine, if you take 9, 1s2, 2s2, 2p, 5. One, two, three, 4, 5. There is a vacancy of 1 electron. There is a need of 1 electron. As a result, fluorine always tries to take 1 electron and form fluoride. Same is the case of chlorine, would like to take 1 electron and will form chloride. Bromine will try to take 1 electron, will form bromide, and so on. Iodine will try to take 1 electron, will form iodide. Is that the halogens only exist in -1 oxidation state? No, because these oxidation states are relative in terms. Like if we combine them with any element whose oxidation number is negative, then they will start behaving like electropositive element. Example, say if you take ClO2, okay, what is the name of ClO2? ClO2 is chlorous acid. Chlorous acid. This you have to study. Chlorous oxide and ClO2, HClO2 if you take, this is chlorous acid. What is the oxidation state of chlorous acid here? This is -2, this is +1, this is -2 into 2, -4. So this will be how much? +3. So see, it is +3 oxidation state. Means if you want to calculate, you can calculate, you can take it as x. So x plus 1 minus 4 is equal to 0. So x minus 3 is equal to 0. So x is equal to +3. Similarly, if you take a compound like HOCl, it is hypochlorous acid. This is -1, this is -2. Chlorine we will find out. This is -2, this is +1, and this is x. So x minus 2 plus 1 is equal to 0. So x minus 1 is equal to 0, and here x is equal to +1. So here you see it is in +1 state. Here it is in +3 state. What about HClO3? If I take HClO3, it's called as chloric acid. This is hypochlorous acid, this is chlorous acid, and if we will take this will become chloric acid. So its oxidation state will be X minus 6 plus 1. So it will be equal to X minus 5 will be equal to 0 and X will be equal to plus 5. So see here, chlorine's oxidation state is, here it was how much? Plus 1. Here it was plus 3. Here it is plus 5. And if I take perchloric acid, that means, is this part visible in the camera? Yes, it is. If I take HClO4, so minus 8 plus 1, so very clearly here X will be equal to plus 7. And minus 1 is known to all of us. Minus 1 oxidation state is known to all of us. HCl plus 1 and minus 1. So you will see that the halides, their oxidation state varies from minus 1 to plus 7. So there are a variety of compounds which are formed by the halides. As of now, we will be seeing chlorine gas, how it is manufactured. So there is a logic in the preparation of chlorine gas. There is a logic behind that. Okay. So what is the logic? Say how chlorine exists in nature. Where do we get chlorine from? Mostly we get chlorine from ocean, isn't it? From sodium chloride. Now when I say sodium chloride, what am I trying to say? I am saying that chloride ion is abundant as sodium chloride from ocean. It could be KCl also, it can be MgCl2 also. So these are the various sources of halide, that means chloride. Now if I want to get chlorine gas, Cl2, this is the product, desired product, and this is the raw material which is available in nature. So what we can do, that minus 1 will become 0. How? We can oxidize it. Isn't it? So very clearly we can convert NaCl to Cl2 gas by using oxidizing agent. We can oxidize it by using KMnO4 or MnO2. These all are oxidizing agent. Using this oxidizing agent we can get chlorine gas. So this was the logic, behind the preparation of halogen gas. Now let us see some formal methods of reactions, and the reactions which are studied. So we will see preparation and manufacturing of chlorine. Laboratory method of preparation of chlorine. What do we need for this? Simplest raw material which is required is NaCl. What we will treat it with? We will treat it with oxidizing agent KMnO4. or MnO2. What will it form? It will form MnCl2. MnO2 will reduce from +4 oxidation state to +2 oxidation state. Chlorine gas will come out. And what will happen to the sodium? Sodium we have not used here. We have used NaCl. So Na plus with water will form NaOH, but to dilute this or to make it ionic we will use H2SO4. and if we do so, then it will form NaHSO4. And water will come out. You can balance it now very easily. 2 chlorine and here 2 chlorine are there. 4. So we'll give 4 over here. This will become 4. After that, oxygen we can balance. H2SO4 also we had taken. Here 4 oxygen is there, 2 oxygen is there. So comes 6 oxygen. So sulfate ions, this is balanced, this oxygen is balanced over here. So we'll give 2 here, and what will happen? 2 oxygen and this 2 oxygen, this 4 oxygen and this 4 oxygen gets balanced if we multiply this with 4 then only. This is one method. Another method could be we can take HCl also, any chloride we will take, and treat it with MnO2. It will form MnCl2 and H2O. We'll balance it. 2 and 4 and 2, then 2. How many oxygens are now there? 4 hydrogen, 4 hydrogen, 4 oxygen, 2 oxygen. Okay. Four HCl is taken, MnO2, MnCl2, and 1 chlorine gas will come out. So this will become only MnCl2. Now 2 oxygen here, 2 oxygen here, it is balanced. So our objective is to take out chlorine gas. Next, C. We can treat KMnO4 with HCl and let us see what happens. KMnO4 plus HCl. Okay, chlorine gas comes out. This was our objective. MnO4 will reduce to MnCl2 plus. What will happen to potassium? Potassium will also become chloride, KCl, and these oxygens and hydrogen will become water. Now we have to balance this. How we will balance? Two chlorine here, 2 chlorine here, and 1 chlorine here. So 5 chlorine. If you make it even, so we'll multiply this with 2, then it will become 2, 2 and 2, 6. So we can make it 6. Now if you make it 6, then this also has to be made 2. If I make it 2, then Mn becomes twice. We'll make it 2. Now again we have to revisit and see 2, 4, 6 and 7, 8. So it will become 8. Okay, now here 8. Hydrogen is there, so we'll make it 4H2O. but here 8 oxygens are there. So how will balance? We'll give 8 here. So eight oxygens are balanced. This becomes 16 hydrogen now. So we'll give 16 HCl. Now again let us see. This is 2. This is 4, 5, 6. Okay. The rest of the chlorine we can balance from here. How many chlorine more we have to give? Here there are 4 chlorine, 2 chlorine, 6 chlorine, and here there are 16 chlorines. So there is difference of 10 chlorines, so we make it 5. So in this way, by heat and trial method we can balance it. Only we have to keep that we have to oxidize Cl minus to Cl0. So these were the laboratory preparations of chlorine. Next is manufacturing of chlorine. Easiest way is to do the electrolytic oxidation. Electrolytic oxidation of brine solution. So what will happen? At cathode, oxidation takes place at anode. So at anode, Cl minus will give out electron and will form Cl2 gas. Now there is one more method of manufacturing of chlorine. It is very simple. It's called as de Connes process. When the story of oxidation goes on, how come oxygen will not come? Oxygen itself a very good oxidizing agent. So de Connes method of manufacturing chlorine gas. What is done? We take any chloride salt, okay, or we take HCl, treat it with oxidizing agent, atmospheric oxygen, in presence of a catalyst. The name of the catalyst is cupric chloride, and we maintain a temperature around 773 Kelvin, 723 Kelvin. So what happens? This becomes oxidized, so chlorine gas comes out and water is formed. We can give 2 here. This will become 4. We make it 2. So these are the 2 methods by which manufacturing is done. One by electrolytic oxidation, and there is de Connes method of manufacturing of chlorine gas. What is next? Properties of chlorides. Treat any salt, any metal with chlorine, it will form its chloride. Like treat it with iron, it will form iron chloride. Treat it with magnesium, it will form magnesium chloride. So it is as easy as that. Treat it with non-metals also, it will form chloride. Like with hydrogen, it will form HCl. With oxygen, it will form OCl2. Okay. With hydrocarbons also, it will form like methane, and chlorine will form methyl chloride. Okay, so chlorine is oxidizing agent itself. So if you take say ferrous sulfate, if you take and you treat it with Cl2 and H2O, so it will become ferric sulfate and HCl will be formed. Okay, so these are the properties. Next is preparation of HCl. Preparation of HCl, hydrogen chloride. See, I'm not saying HCl acid, huh? I'm saying preparation of HCl, hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen chloride is a very highly soluble gas in water. It is not liquid, it is gas. Preparation of hydrogen chloride. It comes out in the form of gas. HCl gas is quickly dissolved in water. Now, how this HCl gas is taken out? It is taken out by treating sodium chloride or potassium chloride with H2SO4. Now, the reaction takes place in two steps. We heat it. At the first step, we give 420 Kelvin. Very easy number to remember. So it forms NaHSO4 plus HCl. So one part of the HCl gas is formed here. Again, this NaCl, remaining NaCl, further reacts with NaHSO4 to form Na2SO4 plus HCl. Na2SO4 and plus HCl. At this stage, we give a temperature of 823 Kelvin. Now, something very important to be understood in this is that the HCl which is formed can be moist, so it can be passed through H2SO4 solution to make it dry. Okay, so HCl is a fuming gas and H2SO4 is a viscous acid. So, and it is dehydrating in nature also. So the HCl gas can be passed through H2SO4 to form dry HCl gas. Now the dry HCl gas is very difficult to manage. So what is done? It is made to dissolve in water. But if you pass the tube through which the HCl gas comes out into the water, then what will happen? Since the solubility of HCl is so high in water, it will quickly get dissolved and there will be a vacuum created in the tube. As a result, backward movement of the water in which the HCl has to be dissolved is possible. So what is done? The end of the tube, the end of the delivery tube is fitted with a conical flask and the wide face is just kept over the surface of the water without touching the surface of the water. As a result, no sooner the gas comes in the contact of the surface of the water, it dissolves and the backward movement of the water into the tube does not take place. That means back suction of the water does not take place. Okay. So to understand that, we can just see little bit of laboratory setup. Say we take a round bottom flask, and if you have taken any salt, then we are putting here H2SO4 and there will be delivery tube. This delivery tube will be made to go deep into another tube containing H2SO4 to dry it, and the dry HCl gas will come out and this will be collected with another delivery tube, and dry HCl gas which will come out will be highly soluble in water. So it will be fitted with a funnel like this, and the surface of water will be kept like this. As a result, what will happen? When HCl gas will come, it will dissolve with water and will form concentrated HCl solution. So this is heated using a tripod stand. At first the heat which is given is 420 Kelvin, and then slowly it is heated to higher temperature at around 723 Kelvin. To 823 Kelvin. Now why the heating is done slowly? The heating is done slowly because the Na2SO4 formed is sticky in nature. It sticks with the glass surface and it becomes difficult to clean. So first of all, NaHSO4 is made to be prepared so that this is like replaceable. It can be washed very easily. And over that, if a layer of sodium sulfate is there, it can be cleaned. So for that purpose, it is heated slowly. Okay. Now why special arrangement of this funnel is made? Special arrangement of this funnel is made because HCl is highly soluble in water. No sooner quickly it dissolves in water, what happens? A vacuum can be generated here, and back suction of water could be there. Back suction of water. Okay, to prevent the back suction of water, this kind of arrangement is made. Very interestingly, when HCl gets absorbed in the surface of the water, or absorbed in the surface of the water, or dissolved in the surface of the water, this funnel is seen to be moving in a vibrating manner. So when the funnel starts to stop, when the funnel stops this vibration, at that time we come to know that preparation of HCl is completed. Okay, and when preparation of HCl is completed, then to continue the preparation, either we need to add NaCl or we need to add concentrated H2SO4. Now from where the moisture is coming in HCl, although we are using concentrated H2SO4, H2SO4 is 98% concentrated only. So 2% of water remains. This 2% of water can make HCl moist, and to make the HCl moist, to make the HCl dry, it can be passed through concentrated H2SO4. And again, when the gas will bubble out, it can be collected again using a cork and delivery tube system, and then it can be passed through a inverted funnel, and the funnel will allow the HCl molecule to get dissolved on a wider surface of water without in contact with the tube. As a result, the back suction will not be there due to the vacuum created due to the quick dissolution. Alright, this is the setup of preparation of HCl. What else is there? Some oxo acids of halogen. It's a very easy topic. Oxo acids of halogen. It could be hypohalous acid, it could be halous acid, it could be halic acid, it could be perhalic acid. Depends upon how much of oxygen is there. Say if it is HOX, then it will be hypohalix. Halous. If it is HXO2, then it will be halous. If it is HXO3, then it is hypohalous, and if it is HXO4, then it is peroxohalic acid. Peroxohalic acid. Example, this X could be chlorine, fluorine, bromine. It will be HOClO. Okay, this will be HOClO2. This will be HOClO3, and this will be HOClO4. So this breaks into OH minus plus Cl plus. So here chlorine has plus 1 oxidation state. It breaks into OH minus and ClO minus, chlorosine. This breaks into OH minus and ClO2 plus. This breaks into OH minus plus ClO3 plus, and this breaks into OH minus and ClO4. So its structure would be OH will be there in one and chlorine will be the central atom. So its structure can also be drawn like this. Will be O, one side H and another side Cl. This structure will be one side O, Cl, one side OH and one double bond oxygen. In this case Cl, O, double bond oxygen, double bond oxygen. In this case Cl, OH, double bond oxygen, double bond oxygen, double bond oxygen. And in this case ClO, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. ClO double bond, this will become OOH. This peroxo, so here peroxo group is there. So as the number of oxygen atom increases, its acidic strength also increases. So acidic strength order will be, this will be like HOCl4 will be most acidic, after that HOCl3, after that HOCl2, after that HOClO, and after that HOCl. Okay. So based on this, there is a table at table 7.10. Refer to table 7.10 of NCERT. Okay. In the same line, they have replaced X with other halides and they have formed the possible oxo acids, and their structure is also given. So this structure which I have drawn here quickly are also given in your book, which you can refer. Okay, do read books because it will have organized information. The video is getting little longer, so the interhalogen compounds, that is a topic from where frequently questions are asked. So I will prepare a separate video on interhalogen compounds. Okay. After doing interhalogen compounds, then again we will solve a few questions based on the compounds of halogen. Okay, and then we will go for group 18 elements. So one more session I will take for group 17. Okay, otherwise the video is going to be too long. Thank you.